এগৰাকী পোনছাতে কথা কোৱা নিৰ্ভীক ব্যক্তিত্ব তেখেতৰ টুইটাৰৰ ভাষ্য I'm one who does not mind being sandwiched between humanism and rationalism. আহক আমি এজনা ডক্টৰ পোনপটীয়া ভাষণ শুনো হওক ময়ূৰ বৰা ডাঙৰীয়া আপোনাক মঞ্চলৈ আমন্ত্ৰণ জনাইছোঁ
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Because of paucity of time and the great SMS sense of hospitality, with which and with some abiding interest to listen to the lady who has come all the way from Delhi, I will not get involved in the usual niceties and customary salutations of telling everyone. But one thing I must tell you, that getting boxed behind a lectern like this in the beautiful place or hallowed auditorium of this Vivekananda Kendra by the river Brahmaputra is always a very, very uplifting and satisfying feeling. But today being sandwiched between not rationalism and humanity, between some of the people who are poets, who have got tremendous felicity with the words, the mastery over the art of telling things in a very subtle and nuanced way, and directly landing in the hearts of the people, the poets. I developed in the grand poetry festival, I have developed grand butterflies in my stomach. I don't know, by looking at the eyes, the twinkle in the eyes of the youngsters, I can only dispel or remove those butterflies from my stomach. I will try to do that, but I will be very, very brief. Maybe 7 to 8 minutes, I would like to say things about poetry. I know, I think the organizers, they deserve a round of applause, because for the first time, and despite various odds, what they have faced, they have been able to bring about a very, very poetic weekend to the city of Guwahati, as we have experienced and seen yesterday and today. I think they deserve a round of applause for that. It is not very easy. They wanted help and cooperation from many people. They got, but they were also disappointed. I know a little bit about the journey of last 2 months of Sumon, Monzi, Ahomi and Jahnovi. I think there are many other people whose name I might have missed. But this journey is very, very important for a city's journey is very important, not only for the people who are poets themselves, but the people like us who try to derive lot of inspiration from the poets. Why? Because I feel sometime back Frederick Forsyth said very famously that political correctness is the new fascism staring in the world today. I believe most of the poets, I don't know whether Dr. Sahu will agree with me or not, but I think most of the poets throughout the world, they are not politically correct people. They are very petty. I am not referring to Paradise Lost by Milton, which runs into many books. The current poets, as they have recited today, they are very petty and they are very, very precise. This pettiness and prescience of the poets can tell many stories in 1 page, 2 pages, or maybe 3 or 4 pages, and it can directly go and establish a connect between what is pulsating or throbbing in his or her heart or mind, and also it can resonate and reverberate in the same wavelength in the minds of the readers and the listeners. I think that's the beauty of poetry. Poetry, if I can reminisce and show little bit of my knowledge about poetry, I always remember the famous Polish poet Stanislaw Lem. He said, the first condition of immortality is death. If you do not die, you cannot become immortal in today's world. I think you need courage. You need a great amount of intellectual bandwidth to say things like that. These are not typical one-liners of Oscar Wilde or G.B. Shaw or other people like Mark Twain. I believe Stanislaw, like whatever he said, that I give lot of bitter medicine, lot of hard medicine, I think, if I can paraphrase, I don't remember exactly what he said. I give lot of sugar-coated pills. The poison is not in the pill, the poison is in the sugar. I think metaphorically and allegorically speaking, what this Guwahati Poetry Festival has come due to the initiative of this Nidas I think Associates and Consultants Private Limited, is because of the fact what I think Stanislaw Lech had said sometime back in Poland. I think that's very important. I think as a poet you will be able to, or lovers of poetry, you will be able to apparently tenuous link with that particular statement of Stanislaw Lech with what you are experiencing now in today's society. Two of the poets, Tenzin and the other Madhu, from different places, different corners of the country, what they have told about is the monumental toxicity that has come to animate the political and the socio-political discourse of the country. I think that narrative needs to be destroyed, dismantled, and that destruction, that dismantling can be done only by poets and writers. And that is why I think Milton in 1644, I think he gave a very impassioned appeal for freedom of speech, which ultimately got enunciated. If you see the First Amendment of American Constitution, where you are also authorized, you will not be behind bars for burning the flag of United States of America in the soil of USA. I think that's a great sense of, abiding sense of your commitment towards the ability to say anything about your country without any ill meaning, or if you have got some rational thoughts or other, if you can buttress your arguments with some rational points, to share two particular points about this particular thing. CC has come from Delhi, that Tenzin has come from Dharamsala, the people have come from different parts of the country. They are trying to celebrate poetry not with a kind of monolithic stiffness. They are trying to celebrate poetry as plurally as possible, as we keep on saying in India that India is a land, unity in diversity and all those things, which are quite used to hearing since our childhood. What we have been hearing, they are trying to do in a poetic way in this beautiful city of Guwahati, my hometown, by the river Brahmaputra. I think that's a wonderful feeling. More importantly, I don't know, many of you might have already grasped it, you have appreciated it. I would just like to flag, I would just like to underline. See, Rudyard Kipling, the man who got Nobel Prize at the age of 42, the ballad of the East and the West, what you know, East is East and West is West, the twain shall never meet. You see a subterranean simmering and many people say very deeply palpable sense of arrogance in Rudyard Kipling's words. But if you try to invoke Khudakanta, which our Dr. Dangoria has beautifully recited, Juye Pura Tirahir, I am also tempted to say a few lines from Khudakanta, which runs counter to the thesis being given by Rudyard Kipling. Despite being a Nobel laureate, what is said in that particular poem, I think is not very conducive for building up a very plural society. Because our Khudakanta, Dr. Bhupen Hazarika, what is said, Moi Luitor para Mississippi hoi, Volgar Rup Salu, Ottawa para Austria hoi, Paris Khaboti lolo. The synthesis between Orient and Occident, from this Louis to Ottawa to Paris, there's a beautiful synthesis, very, very innate, very, very spontaneous. I think poetry should celebrate this kind of spirit. I have got high regards for Rudyard Kipling and many other poets. We have to judge them in the context of the time in which they lived. We cannot judge them only because of the fact that he was born in the city of Bombay. Not because his father was a teacher in Bombay. No. I think we have to be fair to the man. But despite being fair to the man, I think what he said about India and about the Oriental world, our thought process is something has to be protested even in times to come also. The second thing I would like to say is about one particular poet whose 100 years of the first play we have celebrated in Assam only yesterday in the cultural capital of Assam, that is Jyoti Prasad Agarwala. Jyoti Prasad Agarwala when he was 14 years of age, that time itself he wrote his first drama, and his first drama is known as Funit Kori. In Funit Kori we know he wrote beautiful numbers like Gose Gose Patilile. 14-year-old Jyoti Prasad Agarwala. I feel like comparing these three icons of Assam, Shonkordev, Korotala Komolo, Komolodala Noyana, Dr. Bhupen Hazarika, after going to Bordeaux and Tezpur, accompanied by his parents, wrote his first song. Kuhumbor Putra Srikankar Gurue, Dhorisil Namore Tan, Namore Kunote Kopi Utisil, Povitra Borduathan. Then come to Jyoti Prasad Agarwala in 14 years of age. Can you imagine the youngsters? Rupa Kuoror Suma Porohote, Lazuki Kuori Morohi Jai. I know there is the people whom I see, and you are also nodding. There is no hormonal holiday in your age. You celebrate the fact. You celebrate the fact. You try to celebrate that with a sense of responsibility. If you take some inspiration from history, from poets, from writers, from authors, from cultural icons, I think you will be able to do it. You will be able to do justice to your hormone as well as the expectation and aspiration of the society, your parents, and as well as that of your teachers. I think poetry can teach you, and that is why at the end I would like to say what Jyoti Prasad told. Hilpi moy tiniu kalor, otitor, bortomanor, onagoto bhovishyotor. Aditei jatra kori onadiloi jao, dhongkhor majedi moi rupantoror rup pai nobotom srishtir holita jolao. This is nothing but an Nobotom Srishti. The Guwahati, the Grand Guwahati Poetry Festival. The Z signifies not only grandeur. I think Z in the times to come for the organizers, and I think you will also agree with me, this Z also stands for grace and graciousness, and also your generosity. If you are graceful, if you are gracious enough, I am very sure whole of Guwahati, if not whole, 2 or 3% of Guwahati will come forward and join hands with you in the next year so that we can really make it with keeping this as a edifying structure of the first year, and whatever experiences you have gathered in the very first year with all those eminent people who are yet to hear Dr. Sahu, we are eagerly waiting for that. With these experiences, with the collective experiences of these 2 days of this beautiful poetic weekend of Guwahati of 2018, hopefully in 2019, we will see that Nobotom Srishtir Holita, it's brightening and brightening and brightening. Thank you.